Hey guys, and welcome to tonight's video. Yes, I'm coming to you guys from nighttime. Yet again, I actually asked in that Q&A video that I filmed at nighttime if you guys enjoyed that layout and if you guys wanted me to film a life update in that format and style. And I got a few responses of you guys saying yes, so that is what I'm doing tonight. I'm going to be giving you guys a little bit of a life update, updating you guys on a few things going on now, things in the near future. Just a chatty little life update for you guys, since I realized I haven't filmed something like this in quite some time. I seriously think it's been maybe since before the boys were born. So that is what we're going to be doing tonight. First off, before we jump into the video, excuse my hair. I am really not feeling it lately, and the first little update could be that I'm actually getting my hair done on Wednesday, and I think I'm chopping it pretty short. I know last time I got my hair cut in July, I said I was going to cut it short, and I wound up chickening out and not cutting it as short as I thought I was going to. But I think this time I'm going to bite the bullet and cut my hair pretty short. Right now my hair is probably down to here, and I think I'm gonna cut it to about the length of my collarbones. I used to always wear my hair short, and I actually really like short hair on me, but for some reason I grew it out, I cut it really short, and the last time I cut it really short, 2 years ago, it was not the best haircut, and I was pretty much scarred from that. And so I let it grow out long, and I kind of stayed within my comfort zone of if it got to here, I would just trim it up a little bit, and so it's always been within this length. But I was looking at old pictures of myself, and I just really felt inspired to chop my hair again. I am going to keep it blonde. As you can see, the blonde has grown out so much. I got my hair done in July last, so I definitely need to dye it again. You can see how dark my roots are compared to the ends of it. I'm wearing my hair in this little clip. But yeah, long story short, I hate my hair right now. I didn't really know what to do with it tonight. I also didn't really feel like getting ready because I'm actually kind of recovering from a little something that happened this past week, which I'll go into in a second really quickly, just to kind of update you guys on that. But yeah, long story short, I hate my hair, and I'm going to be chopping it in just a few days, so stay tuned for that. I'll probably vlog that day. So yeah, but let's jump into the life update. I'm going to start with kind of updating you guys on what has happened this past week with a little bit of an illness, sickness thing that happened. And then I'll go into updating you guys about Harris and I's living situation. That is something that I want to update you guys on, especially for those of you guys who have been around for quite some time and have seen the little journey of us moving into this house. I have some updates about that, and then I want to update you guys on school and when I'm going to be graduating, because I get that question a lot. So yeah, let's just jump right into it. So I'm going to quickly touch on what happened this past week, and it kind of stems back to 2-ish weeks ago. I vlogged, and I had mentioned that I postponed that vlog one day because I had a really bad hormonal migraine that kind of took me out for the count, and I really wasn't feeling that well. But then the day I decided to vlog, I did feel better. But every day after that day I decided to vlog, I actually had a little bit of an underlying migraine, and that went on for probably about a week or so. And then all of a sudden on, I can't even remember the day, on what's today, so maybe Tuesday, I had woken up with that same migraine. However, throughout the day, that migraine got progressively worse, and I experienced migraine pain like I've never felt before. And I'm someone who has been suffering with migraines for years and years and years and years. I get ocular migraines, light-inducing migraines. If I lay a certain way, I'll get a migraine. hormonal migraines. I just get migraines all the time. And so when this migraine had turned into what it had turned into, I had never felt pain like that in my entire life. My brain was pounding so hard. I've never felt like my brain pulsate like that. And I had to go food shopping that day. I told Harris I was going to go food shopping, so he had come home from work and like he was already home. I didn't tell him to stop on the way home from work because I was trying not to be on my phone because my head was hurting me that much. But he got home from work and we had like no food in the house for the boys. I needed stuff for dinner for them and breakfast for the next morning. Like we had nothing in the house for them. It was just that time where I really needed to replenish on like the basics of produce and eggs and all that kind of stuff. So even though I felt absolutely terrible, I said I'm just gonna go really quickly, run through the grocery store as quick as I can, and then I'll come home and I'll rest. And leaving the house was definitely a bad idea. Also, I do have my TV on again. I know I mentioned this last time I filmed at night. I'm just a nut and need like background noise. I'm sorry if you can see the light and hear it, but anyway, back to my story. I went grocery shopping. Was a horrible idea. I literally was driving with my eyes like closed, like this much open. The light and the motion of driving made me feel so sick. And so I got home from grocery shopping and Harris told me to lay down, which is what I did until the boys had dinner that night. And then that night I had to take a test and it was on my computer. I had to stare at my computer and I remember telling Harris, like, I just don't think I can do it. Every time I leaned forward, even just a little bit, the pressure in my brain was insane. If I moved my eyes a certain way, if I touched my eyes like to the touch, they were so super sore. And so I literally took my test in 15 minutes. I was like, I don't care what I get. I need to just do it and hand something in. So I did. And I went to sleep that night. Harris told me, maybe you just need a good night's sleep. And the thing was, is I was taking Excedrin migraine all throughout the day, every like 4 to 6 hours, like you're supposed to. And it literally was not even taking the edge off. And so I took more Excedrin migraine before I went to bed. And I woke up at 1 o'clock in the morning and I like felt so sick. My head touching the pillow was so painful. And I tried to go back to sleep, and at 2 o'clock in the morning, I woke up again, and I started to have like a panic attack because every time my brain would pulsate in my skull, like pound, my body would like jolt, and I would lose hearing, I would lose sight. It was so ungodly painful. I sat up in the bed, and I just started hysterically crying, which if you have a headache, crying makes it so much worse. But I started hysterically crying and basically panicking and telling Harris, I need to go to the emergency room now. I am not going to make it through the night. I'm going to literally go insane with this pain, and I think I might die from the pain. The pain in my brain was so bad that I was like, I'm going to have a seizure. I don't know what is happening. It was excruciating. And yes, I'm a drama queen. I do complain a lot for the smallest of things, but I told Harris, when in our relationship have I ever said I need to go to the hospital? Even when I was pregnant with the boys and my water broke. I didn't even think my water broke, and I didn't think I had to go to the hospital. Like, I rarely ever pull like the hospital card, and so I was like, I need to go. And of course we had the boys sleeping, and so Harris was like, do I wake them up? Like, what do we do? Do I call an ambulance? How are we gonna get there? And I actually called my friend Ashley, and she is seriously the bestest friend I can ever have in my entire life. She is a true person, genuine person, like will do anything for you. And she woke up at 2:30 in the morning, drove to my house, got me, and took me to the hospital. And because of the pandemic and everything, she wasn't actually able to come in with me, which is understandable. So she basically just dropped me off and went home. And she did tell me to call her if I needed to be picked up, because they told me I was only going to be there for 2 hours, but I wound up being there a lot longer. So long story short, I was asymptomatic for a urinary tract infection, which I've never had one, so I don't know what to feel if I have one. But yeah, I had no idea I had one. They take your urine at the hospital to test to see if you are pregnant, to give you medication. So they had done that to basically treat the migraine. And when I had given them urine, they saw it was cloudy and they decided to test it for a urinary tract infection. And I had one. I also had a low-grade fever, which spiked their suspicion that maybe was something, the urine and the fever. And so they basically told me that I had a migraine for a week or so, and when I had this urinary tract infection that I was asymptomatic for, I started to get a fever, and basically my body's inflammatory response had caused the migraine and the fever to make my head so much worse. And the weird thing was when I stood up in the middle of the night to leave to go to the hospital, every time I took a step my spine hurt, or so I thought it was my spine. It actually turned out to be my kidneys, because we don't know how long I had this urinary tract infection for, and apparently I had it long enough for it to start traveling up to my kidneys. So yeah, long story short, I had a urinary tract infection that caused a major migraine in me, and I wound up in the hospital, but I got home. I wound up staying a lot longer than they told me I was going to, because they thought I was going to need an MRI, but we got to the bottom of everything and I didn't actually get an MRI. But yeah, I got home, I think on Wednesday, the following day. I was only there overnight. I rested all day that day, all day yesterday, and I finally am feeling fully functional. My head does not hurt anymore. My eyes still hurt to the touch a little bit, but for the most part, the antibiotic coupled with Motrin and Tylenol has really helped, and I feel great. So I didn't post anything on social media about this. I've been really silent on social media, and I didn't even think I was going to film this tonight, but I needed to get something up for you guys, and so I thought, why not include this little update for you guys. I've been chatting with some of you guys over on my Instagram. I'm very active on there in terms of if you DM me, I will answer you. And so I've been chatting with a few of you guys, and I've mentioned that I'm sorry I haven't answered. I was in the hospital, blah, blah, blah. So I thought I'd just touch on that here. So yes, I was in the hospital, but I'm okay. And now we're gonna move on to some happier things. So the second thing I wanted to update you guys on is Harris and I's living situation. So if you guys have been following us since, you know, I got pregnant and everything, I had mentioned how Harris and I had to move out of his parents' house, since we were living in his parents' house with them for the time being, so Harris could save money for us to get our own place. But of course, since I got pregnant, everything got sped up a little bit, and Harris just wasn't in the place to put money down for our own place to live, and we didn't really want to rent an apartment for $3,000+ a month and live in a super small space with twins. So thankfully Harris's aunt did buy this home to essentially knock it down and flip it and sell it. She flips houses all the time, and when she heard that I was pregnant and knew that Harris and I needed somewhere to live, she offered to rent the space to us, which, because of the pandemic and everything, turned out actually even more in our favor. She had originally told us that we can stay here until she got permits to knock it down and rebuild and everything, which could have taken 6 months to a year. But because of the pandemic, everything really got put on hold, and so we've been here for just about a year. And she actually approached us not too long ago and told us that we still have some time in here, since she is just now getting on track with applying for permits and everything to go ahead with the knocking down process. And so we probably have another 6-ish months of living in this house, which ultimately Harris would like to be in this house until the end of next year. That is where he'll be in the best place financially for us to move into our own place. But if we are unable to stay here until the end of 2021, and we do have to move out, you know, in the next 6 months, and Harris is not in the place financially for us to purchase our own place to live, we are going to have to move back in with his parents for the time being, which is going to be a little bit crazy, but in the long run, it will help us, because Harris will be able to save that extra money. We are basically living here for next to nothing. We pay like the utilities and, you know, our cable and all that kind of stuff, and he does pay his aunt a small amount of rent. But even with that, it's still money that Harris could be saving to move into our own place. And so moving home with his parents will allow him to save the couple $1,000s a month that we spend on that kind of stuff. So we don't really have a plan set in stone. We could be here for 6 months, we could be here for a year, we could be moving back in with his parents. We don't really know. But I did want to update you guys on that, because I did have someone ask me, oh, excuse me, I just ate a lot of Panera. I just had someone ask me recently, I can't remember on what, if we were thinking about moving anytime soon. So that is an update on our living situation. The next thing I wanted to update you guys on is college. So in all of my Q&As, I get asked not when am I graduating. I get asked, you know, will I work after I graduate? What am I graduating with? Like, what am I majoring in? I get a lot of questions about my college career in general. Since I feel like a lot of you guys started following me, no, can't say that. A lot of you guys started following me when I was getting pregnant, but there is a majority of you guys who followed me because I was a student at Stony Brook University, and I was really one of the few vloggers from Stony Brook University. I got noticed a lot there, and I feel like I built my brand originally on being a student at Stony Brook University. So I know I have a good amount of you guys who follow me because I'm a college student. So I do get asked a lot of the times when I'm graduating, what I'm graduating for, yada yada yada. And so since I did have to take the spring semester off to deliver the boys and recover, and then I went back to school in the summer, I thought my TV turned off. I went back to school in the summer, and now I'm in school right now, and I keep saying how I'm going to be graduating after this semester. And so graduation is actually on my birthday this year. I will be turning 23 and graduating on the same day, which is December 18th. There is no in-person graduation, it's just like online, but I am so close to graduating, and I have mentioned this in a bunch of Q&As also, but I do want to go on and pursue my master's. I just don't know where, and I don't really know exactly for what. So after I do graduate, I do have to kind of take the next 6 months to really sit down and think, what do I want to do? Where do I want to go? How am I going to approach all of that? And so yeah, I did want to update you guys that graduation is very, very soon for me. It is just about to be November, which means I have about a month and a half until I graduate, which is insane to think about. Yes, it's been like 4.5, 5 years since I've been at Stony Brook and since I've started college, but it seriously feels like I started college yesterday. It seriously went so extremely fast. And so I'm graduating very soon, and I'm very, very excited. So I think that's all I wanted to update you guys on. My little health scare, moving, college. I think that's it. I know this was kind of a quick little video, but I did want to get something up for you guys, and I did want to touch on those few things. And I thought, why not just sit down and do it in a super chill form of video? I'm trying to think. As far as the videos coming up, we have the boys' 9-month, I believe, pediatrician appointment, so that video will be coming up for you guys. I really want to film a video sharing how I kind of treat myself and little things I do to relax as a mom of twins, so that video will be coming up for you guys. I don't think I'm going to be vlogging on Halloween, which is actually tomorrow, just because we seriously have nothing going on. It's not like we're going trick-or-treating or anything, but I will post their costumes over on my Instagram, which this doesn't really matter because I don't know when I'm putting this video up. But if you guys have not seen what the boys were for Halloween, go over to my Instagram and check that out. But other than that, I'm not really sure what I have going on in terms of videos. Leave any recommendations down below that you guys have, things you want to see, tag videos, questions for future Q&As, any type of video you'd like to see, leave that down below. I appreciate that always. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little chatty update with what's been going on and what's going to be going on with my life. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.